Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. My dear Muslims, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. There is an awesome news for all of us. According to the survey, 37% of the people in this country, they want to learn about Islam. Yes, that's an awesome news. So despite the Islamophobia, the hate attacks, the misinformation about Islam and Muslims, 120 million people in this country, approximately, they want to learn about Islam. So imagine if one of those individuals is your colleague at work and he's sitting down with you in the lunchroom eating lunch and he asks you this question. You know, Abdul, I have been hearing about Islam for such a long time in the media. I don't trust the media. I don't believe in the media. You tell me, what is Islam? If you hear this question, your mind may be thinking, what should I say? Should I defend Islam from those Muslims who are abusing the word Islam and Muslims? Should I speak about the solutions that Islam has for humanity's problems? Should I speak about Sharia, jihad, extremism, hijab, women? What should I say about Islam? Inshallah, we will go over how we can share the message of Islam in 5 minutes, inshallah. You may be thinking, really? Islam in 5 minutes? How is that possible? It is possible as long as you remember the words OMG, HI, OMG, HI. And you may be thinking, oh my God, what are you saying? Yes, each of the letters become one point that you can share with the non-Muslims. For example, OMG. O stands for one God. So you say to the person that we believe in one God. We say that this God is eternal. He is the creator. He is loving, forgiving, powerful creator. So for the love of humanity, to guide humanity, God appointed messengers and prophets. So the M stands for the messengers and the prophets. You can mention the names of some of them. Prophet Noah, Abraham, Moses, Jesus, Mohammed, peace be upon them. And then you can say that every single one of them, they were appointed by God to invite humanity to only submit to one God, not to submit to the creation or the animals or the idols or the humans, but only submit to one God. So this submission to one God in Arabic is Islam. So every single messenger and prophets, they came to invite humanity to Islam, to submit to the Creator. OMG. The G stands for the guidance. The guidance that the Quran has and the Prophet's Sunnah example has for humanity. In this point, you can mention some of the wonderful solutions that Islam has for humanity. For example, the Islamic solution against racism and for the equality of all of humanity. Islam's solutions against the breakdown of the family structure. Islam's solution against the intoxicants and the gambling and the homicides and the suicides. So you mentioned some of the solutions that Islam has. So G stands for guidance. So OMG. Then the H stands for the hereafter. So in this point, you can mention that just like we get a check at the end of the month after we finish certain assignment, or we get a good grade after we complete all the criteria in that classroom. In the same way, after we pass away, God is going to bring us back to life and there would be a day of judgment. And God is going to ask us and He's going to judge us based upon the belief we held and the deeds that we have done. So if we have the right belief and doing good deeds, God has promised that by His mercy, He will place us into eternal paradise. But if the person, suppose at work, do not do the assignment, or at school do not obey the teacher, there would be consequences. So Islam also believes in the hellfire, and only God is going to judge who is going to go to paradise, who is going to go to hellfire. But the criteria would be that submission only to one God and doing good deeds as present in the scriptures. That's how a person will go to paradise by God's mercy. So then if John says, you know what, this makes sense. What should I do next? That's when you invite John. So I stands for invite. You invite John by saying that, John, I care about you. I want you to have a good and purposeful life. I want you to have paradise by God's mercy. I want you to embrace the faith of Islam. Start submitting to the Creator. So in that way, inshallah, God would forgive you and bless you and reward you with paradise. If John says yes, go ahead and go over the 6 beliefs and the 5 pillars and the other obligations and help John to recite the Shahada. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu. So this is the way, inshallah, we can share the message of Islam in 5 minutes. OMGHI. So O stands for one God, M stands for the messengers and the prophets, G stands for the guidance from the Quran and the authentic Sunnah, the H stands for the hereafter, and the I stands for the invitation. So I hope and pray that may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to implement these wonderful teachings of Islam, and especially help us to fulfill the obligation of invite humanity to Islam. Jazakallahu khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.